Imagine walking into your local grocery store and realizing that your usual $200 shopping trip now costs $300. Sounds crazy, right? But thanks to the new tariffs introduced by Trump, the average American household could lose over $1,000 per year, according to the latest estimates from Budget Lab at Yale. Why are you paying more when tariffs are supposed to protect American manufacturers and strengthen the economy? And how exactly do these tariffs take money out of your wallet? Let's break it down. All right, let's start with the basics. What exactly is a tariff? Think of it like a cover charge at a bar, but instead of paying to get in, companies have to pay extra to bring foreign goods into the US. And just like that annoying cover charge, the cost eventually gets passed down to you. Now, Trump's latest plan? Slap tariffs on imports from countries like China, Mexico, and Canada. He says it's about protecting American jobs and businesses. But here's the big question. Do tariffs actually work? And more importantly, do they work for you? Believe it or not, tariffs have been a thing in America since before avocado toast was even a concept. One of the earliest examples? The Tariff of 1828, also known as the Tariff of Abominations. Yes, that was its actual nickname. It was meant to protect American industries, but instead, it made imported goods significantly more expensive and deepened tensions between the North and South, fueling one of the early crises over states' rights. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we've got the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930, a move that was supposed to save American businesses during the Great Depression. Instead, other countries retaliated, global trade tanked, and the economy got even worse. Oops. And then, of course, we have Trump's first round of tariffs back in 2018 to 2019. You might remember the trade war with China, higher prices, farmers struggling, and companies scrambling to adjust. Now, in 2025, Trump's back with another round of tariffs. So, will history repeat itself, or is this time different? Why is Trump bringing back tariffs in 2025? According to him, it's about three things: stopping illegal immigration, fighting drug smuggling, and protecting American jobs. But let's break this down. First, immigration. Trump argues that tariffs on Mexico will pressure their government to tighten border security. In his words, Mexico has taken advantage of the United States for decades. But will making avocados more expensive really fix border security? Second, drugs. Experts argue that tariffs don't actually stop drug trafficking. They just make things more expensive. Finally, American jobs. Trump claims tariffs will bring back manufacturing. But the reality? While some industries might benefit, others, like those relying on imported materials, could struggle. So, who really wins here? All right, let's talk about the real pain point, your grocery bill. Because if you thought eggs were expensive last year, just wait. And it's not just eggs. Fruits, vegetables, and even your breakfast staples could feel the squeeze. Avocados, America's favorite toast topping, might not be spared. The US imports nearly 90% of its avocados from Mexico. Before tariffs, a single Hass avocado cost around $1.20. With potential price hikes, some stores might start selling them for $2 or more. Cherry tomatoes, imported mostly from Mexico and Canada, could also see a price increase of 20 to 25%, making them yet another grocery item that may get more expensive. Maple syrup. Yes, even your pancakes aren't safe. Canada supplies over 70% of the maple syrup in US markets. A 32-ounce bottle that used to cost $12 might end up hitting $15 or more if these tariffs go into effect. These are estimates, and actual costs will depend on the state, retailer, and brand. So, have you noticed any price changes at your local store? Drop a comment below. What's the most ridiculous potential price hike you've seen? Alright, so after seeing your grocery bill skyrocket, you might want a drink. Bad news. Your beer might get more expensive too. Modelo, one of the most popular beers in America, is imported from Mexico. If the tariffs do take effect, a 12-pack that currently costs $15 could jump to $18 or more. And it's not just Modelo. Corona, Dos Equis, and Tecate are also Mexican imports. So if tariffs go through, your go-to beer run might get a little pricier. If you think your grocery bill is bad, just wait until you pull up to the gas station. Tariffs on Canadian oil mean higher fuel costs. And spoiler alert, that's not just bad news for your car. Gas prices vary by state, but experts warn that tariffs could push prices up by $1 per gallon, depending on where you live. And if you drive a big truck, I've got bad news. You might need to start budgeting for gas like it's your rent. But wait, there's more. Higher fuel prices don't just affect drivers. Delivery trucks, Uber drivers, food suppliers, they all pay more for gas. And guess what? They're not eating that cost. You are. So next time your Uber ride costs an extra couple of bucks, or that pizza delivery fee goes up, just remember, it all started at the gas pump. So, your Uber ride just got more expensive. Your grocery bill? Also up. And now, if you were thinking about buying a car, well, buckle up because that's about to get pricier too. New cars are getting hit first. Many vehicles in the US rely on imported parts, and some models, especially budget-friendly ones, are assembled abroad. If tariffs stick, we could see price hikes of $1,500 to $3,000 per car. Used cars? Not much better. With new cars becoming pricier, more people will turn to the used car market, pushing those prices up too. Supply and demand. It's a cruel game. And here's the real kicker. Car repairs are about to get expensive too. Need a replacement part? Many of them are imported. A simple brake pad set that used to cost $50 might jump to $70 or more. So, whether you're buying new, used, or just trying to keep your old car running, one thing's for sure. Owning a car is about to get a whole lot pricier. We've talked a lot about who's losing from these tariffs. But what about the industries that actually stand to gain? Because while tariffs make life more expensive for consumers, they're designed to boost certain sectors of the US economy. American steel and aluminum manufacturers are among the biggest winners. Since Trump's first round of tariffs in 2018, companies like US Steel and Nucor have invested over $15 billion in expanding domestic production. These investments have also led to job growth. Between 2018 and 2023, the US steel industry added over 3,200 new jobs. The textile and furniture industries are also benefiting. Companies like Standard Textile have shifted production back to the US, investing in new facilities to reduce reliance on imports. Agriculture? It's complicated. Some US wheat producers could benefit from reduced competition with foreign suppliers, but others, especially soybean and corn farmers, could suffer from retaliatory tariffs. In 2018, China's response to Trump's tariffs led to a $10 billion loss for US farmers in just 1 year. So yes, tariffs do create winners, just not you. Unless, of course, you happen to own a steel mill or a textile factory. In that case, congrats. The political and economic tensions are already building. Mexico has secured a 1-month delay on US tariffs after striking a deal with Washington to increase military support at the border. But if the tariffs go into effect after the grace period, Mexico is prepared to retaliate, primarily by targeting US agricultural exports like corn, dairy, and pork. Canada, on the other hand, has managed to delay counter-tariffs for now. After talks between Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and President Trump, Canada and the US agreed to pause tariffs on Canadian imports for at least 30 days. In exchange, Canada is launching a $1.3 billion border security plan, which includes new helicopters, enhanced surveillance technology, and nearly 10,000 personnel working to stop fentanyl trafficking. And then there's China. Unlike Canada and Mexico, which negotiated delays, China is taking a much harder stance, imposing new tariffs and restrictions on American goods. So while tariffs are meant to protect American industries, they also push key trading partners to look elsewhere, potentially making the US less competitive in the long run. So, Canada and Mexico are pushing back, businesses are adjusting, and prices are rising. But what about American workers? After all, tariffs are supposed to bring jobs back to the US. right? Some industries are adding jobs. For example, in 2023, the US semiconductor industry announced over $200 billion in new investments, partly due to tariffs on Chinese tech imports. Intel and TSMC are building new plants in Arizona, creating thousands of high-paying jobs. The auto industry, however, is struggling. Tariffs on imported parts increase production costs. Ford and GM have warned that instead of creating jobs, rising costs could lead to layoffs. In 2019, after the first round of tariffs, Ford cut 7,000 jobs globally.
You're fired!
Citing higher expenses as a factor. So, do tariffs bring jobs back? In some cases, yes, but they also lead to higher costs, job losses in some sectors, and unintended consequences. Tariffs aren't just about one country, they send ripples across the entire global economy. And when the US, one of the largest economies in the world, imposes tariffs, the effects are felt everywhere. All right, so with prices going up, businesses adapting, and global trade shifting, what can you actually do about it? Well, some people are stocking up before new tariffs hit. Others are looking for alternative products made in the US to avoid import taxes. But what do you think? Are these tariffs necessary, or are they just making life more expensive? Drop a comment below. Let's see what everyone has to say. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.
Make America great again.